10 most popular 1991 score football cards. There was never anything very spectacular about the 1991 score football cards, but the set delivered on the promise the brand had built over the previous 3 years. Lots of cards, good photography, plenty of subsets, and a colorful but mostly subdued card design. And while the cards have never been very valuable, there are still plenty of singles that continue to pluck at collectors' heartstrings after all these years. Here, then, are the 10 most popular 1991 score football cards, ranked by the number of each that have been submitted to PSA for grading. 1991 score, Brett Favre, number 611. It looks sort of strange to see Favre in a uniform other than the Green Bay Packers, or Minnesota Vikings, or New York Jets, or, well, okay, at the end of his career there, Favre could have shown up in any jersey. But this one shows him as a young college buck, flashing that big arm for Southern Mississippi. Or is that a Saints uniform? Or Steelers? Whatever the case, this is a Favre rookie card, and albeit an overproduced one, and that makes it eternally popular with collectors. 1991 score Emmett Smith, number 15. An Emmett Smith rookie card? Well, sort of. It is the first base scorecard to feature the NFL's all-time rushing leader. But Smith had already graced a handful of cards, including a 1990 score supplemental, by the time this one found its way to the hobby. Still, an early Emmett showing him in his prime with the Dallas Cowboys is sure to have fans, and this one is no exception. 1991 score, Joe Montana, number 1. This card is both the first and the last for Montana. It's the first card in the 1991 score set, obviously. But it's also the last regular scorecard showing Joe Cool as a member of the San Francisco 49ers. That's because Score took a hard pass on him in 1992 after he missed 1991 with an injury. And by the time they were back on the Montana train in 1993, he was a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. That really happened. This is sort of a historic hunk of cardboard, and besides, Montana always appears at the top of these kinds of lists. 1991 score, Dan Marino, number 385. If you watched football in the 1990s, you probably remember this look from Marino. It was the look he flashed downfield right before he attempted to rip off his receiver's hands with one of his patented bullet passes. All that firepower led to monster stats that completely reshaped how we thought about what was possible for quarterback output, and though his numbers have been surpassed, Marino will always be part of our football heritage. This card, too, even if it falls short of iconic or even less plentiful than Stars in the Galaxy. 1991 score, Barry Sanders, number 20. When you find a third-year Barry Sanders card this far down on a list of popular pasteboards, you start to remember just how many all-time greats trotted the gridiron during the early 1990s. You can stack up a primetime Sanders against any of the greatest backs ever, and the Lions legend will come out on top nearly every single time. Add in the mystique around what might have been had he not retired early at 30, and you have a dude who will never lose his hobby appeal. 1991 score, Jerry Rice, number 380. And the greatest receiver of all time marred down here into 6th place? Well, that's a consequence of all the other great players in the set, and that Rice landed his rookie card way back in 1986. That means 1991 was the 6th season collectors could pull Rice from packs, and it seems even superbness can get old hat after a while. 1991 score, Smith Carrier, Rookies of the Year, number 675. This is definitely a cheesy card, but it brings together both the offensive and defensive Rookies of the Year from 1990 on one cardboard rectangle. That's akin to having Darryl Strawberry and Ron Kittle appear together on a card in the 1984 Donruss set. Wouldn't that have been cool? Yeah, it would have. And while Carrier is no Hall of Famer like Smith is, he turned in an all-star level 11-year career that produced 3 Pro Bowl selections. No wonder this card is still popular today, huh? 1991 score, John Elway, number 410. By the time this card was issued, Elway had cemented his reputation as the big arm who couldn't win the big game. And then, when everyone had written off his Super Bowl pedigree, the man closed out his career with not 1 but 2 championships for the Broncos. In an instant, 2 seasons. Elway transformed his career and his cardboard from Hall of Fame level to Stone Cold legend. 1991 score, Joe Montana, number 620. Okay, so I lied there a little bit with Montana's number 1 card when it came up. This is the last base scorecard to show Montana with the Niners. This one is from the team MVP subset, iconic given the turn of events that would leave Steve Young as the starter in San Francisco and Montana in KC. Still a good-looking and affordable Montana card that collectors continue to enjoy. 1990 score, Bo Jackson, number 100. Jackson would never again take the field in the NFL after this card was issued, thanks to the devastating hip injury he suffered during the playoff game in January 1991. At the time, there was still some faint hope that Bo might make it back, and his popularity was hard for Score to resist, so they didn't. Lucky for us, because it means we can gaze on this hunk of farewell cardboard whenever we want to. Like our video? Then like our video and subscribe to our channel. waxpackgods.com